Joining us now is senior security researcher at Huntress John Hammond. John, thank you for your time and for speaking with us today. This comes as we enter Labor Day weekend. Are you aware of any specific threats that could occur over this holiday weekend?
Well, thanks so much for letting me join you. I have been keeping tabs on that federal agency warning and advisory, kind of alerting small businesses or organizations that we should be on high alert for potential cybercrime or other ransomware activities over this coming weekend. They haven't specified any individual or unique threat actor or group that might be doing any sort of other hacking activity. But between the recent trend of ransomware leading up to Mother's Day or over the weekend of Memorial Day, and of course the 4th of July holiday weekend, I think there's a clear potential for ransomware or other cybercrime.
Let's talk about that. Most recently here in Massachusetts, operations at the Steamship Authority were impacted during a cyber attack Memorial Day. And then the Colonial Pipeline shutdown happened Mother's Day weekend. Do you know if this is a strategy for hackers to cripple systems during holidays or weekends?
I think this absolutely is a strategy for cyber criminals. It just makes sense. If you really put on your hacker hat, you act as the adversary, right? If there's a company week, if there's a break for a holiday, if there's some vacation time, the organization and employees are going to let their guard down. If say, hey, we're going to be stepping away from the office, a long weekend, let's take some time for rest and relaxation. That is prime time for hackers to start to strike. They may very well be on the prowl if, hey, we've got everyone away from the office, and we're not checking our cell phones, looking at alerts. I think it is certainly a window of opportunity for some cybercrime.
What are some of the most reported ransomware variants, and what does that mean?
Absolutely. We had seen, as you mentioned, for Memorial Day, there was I believe that was the Dark Side gang that had taken advantage of Colonial Pipeline when we were reaching, I believe that was Mother's Day, forgive me. Previously, for the 4th of July, we saw Revil, one of the ransomware gangs, take advantage of the CISA platform, and that had trickled down in sort of a supply chain attack to a lot of managed service providers and small businesses. A recent one that I'm a bit more concerned about these days is Conti and Lockbit and Lockfile. Recently, we've seen Microsoft Exchange, certainly in the spotlight, between the proxy logon and proxy shell were the name of these vulnerabilities. Recently, even as up to today, we're seeing some of these attacks come from Conti ransomware, being able to exploit Microsoft Exchange with those vulnerabilities, implant into the network, exfiltrate data, sensitive information, and deploy ransomware.
So what can an organization do if they have been a victim of a cybercrime?
Honestly, if you're already a victim, it's very, very tough to recover, and my heart goes out to those individuals kind of affected by this. Truthfully, you really, really have to rely on your backups. Even in the advisories that we're seeing from the federal agencies, they say, hey, ensure that you have an offline backup of as much data as you can, and you have tested and validated rolling back from those backups. You'll want to make sure everything is secure as you can make it. Patch, harden, make sure you're using multi-factor authentication, ensure you have long, complex passwords. Honestly, it boils down to the bare bone basics of security hygiene, but that's the best we can do oftentimes.
Multi-factor authentication, that's something that we're very familiar with here at CBSN Boston. So how can organizations protect themselves?
So I would have to really offer, we can't always trust the machine, right? We oftentimes rely on antivirus or preventive security. We let the computer do the work, and we hope that, oh, the dashboard will light up, the alarms will go off, the bells and whistles will ring. Truthfully, we're a part of the problem, right? Us as people, you hear phishing and social engineering attacks. There's a human element to a lot of cybersecurity. We can't take us out of the equation. We need to have real people, human beings that understand context of what's happening on the computer, what's good and bad. We really have to be the ones to analyze and look through some of this malicious activity. I think oftentimes in security, we try to prepare for things in a tabletop exercise or a role-playing game, but we have to remind ourselves, especially with this upcoming weekend, this isn't just a game, right? Defenders and organizations, we face real threats and real adversaries, real people trying to cause real harm. So we need to be up for the fight.
Senior security researcher at Huntress John Hammond, thank you so much for your insight and your time.
Thank you.